Do you guys want to know who one of my performers of the night was? Lauren Murphy. Are you ready for that? Many people believe your greatest victory will come in defeat. I thought Lauren Murphy was one of the best performers of the night. Now, I love the whole card, and I can't just say she was number one. I think there's some love to go around. I think that Dan Hooker deserves to be brought in there. I think that young heavyweight that came out and got the knockout over the bigger guy, right? I think there's a discussion here, but Lauren looked awesome. Look at what she's up against. There was nobody in the world except for the three people that stood in her corner, and possibly not them, who believed she had a chance in this fight. And if you back up, nobody called and asked Lauren to go and fight the Bullet, to go jump in front of a Bullet. She said, I deserve this. She said, I should be fighting the Bullet. She said, let me have the opportunity. It matters. Mindset, toughness, heart, grit, self-determination, belief. It's a great athlete. Lauren goes out there, and the only thing that she can expect is to not know what to expect. Let me explain. You guys remember when Jon Jones was making his run? One thing that was a real consistent every time the young Jon Jones would fight is you were going to see a technique or a maneuver that you had never seen from Jon Jones before, that you could never expect or plan for. Remember the night he fought Glover, by example? Glover puts in an underhook and Jon just rips his bicep right off his arm in a move that I could show you, but I haven't the foggiest idea what it's called. I've only seen it one other time in my life, and it was way back in the 90s in a totally different position when Frank Mir did it to a gentleman named Tavares. Different, wild. The only thing you'll know about Jon Jones, if you go watch 5 fights in a row, is that he's going to come out and do something that you don't know anything about. I bring you Jon's name to put it in conjunction with Valentina Shevchenko because it's what she does. She's changing completely. Valentina Shevchenko, on paper, officially, if you look to paper, is the best striker in MMA, kickboxer specifically. I don't want to hear from the Holly Holm fans. Holly has a beautiful resume as well. So let me make it specifically kickboxing. Followed by Joanna Champion. But those two, did you guys know this? Joanna and the Bullet actually fought a kickboxing match. The Bullet won. It was close. The Bullet won. So on the female side, the most successful kickboxer in all of MMA, officially per the resume, is Valentina Shevchenko. And about 20 months ago, 22 months ago, top of my head here, the Bullet fought a young lady named Jessica I. That is the night when we, the world and the viewer, found out she has equal skills on the ground as she does standing up. Talking about the Bullet. So let's rework this. And don't forget about her very last fight where she finished it on the ground. Great kickboxer. She's a great grappler, jiu-jitsu player. That's what we learned. The story of this fight and what Lauren Murphy had to deal with, all Lauren knew going into this is I'm going to see something that I've never seen before. So I cannot be prepared. I'm going to prepare for everything. All right, tougher than hell attitude by Lauren. But the story of this fight was not the kickboxing or the ground game. It was the in-between. What's the in-between called, guys? Wrestling. That body lock, that twist, that outside block by Shevchenko is techniques that she has not shown before, particularly the way that she got there to start with. Particularly the way she punched, swam inside, and got there. So now Lauren Murphy, on the fly, is responding to something that was not an emphasis in camp. It was the unknown that she knew she was going to see, but now she's found out what it was, and she fought like hell. Lauren Murphy proved that she is the second best fighter in the world. That's what I believe. And if you put that by any standards, NCAA, state, Olympic Games that just got done, or even MMA, if you put that by any standard, the second best in the world, while maybe not what you fully wanted, is pretty damn special. I encourage Scott Coker. Scott Coker does these Grand Prix, right? Tournaments, but he calls them a Grand Prix. I encouraged him to play it all the way till third. Take the winners of the semifinals, have them compete. Take the losers of the semifinals, have them compete. Be the first person to MMA that recognizes 1, 2, and 3 clearly. He laughed at me. He laughed in my face, to which I laughed back, pretending I was joking, but I wasn't joking at the time. I wasn't joking at all. I would like that as a fan, just because I would understand it. Just because every sport that I follow, 1, 2, and a 3. Some go 4 and 5 and 6. I mean, in all fairness, you number them, but you don't just have to get some Poindexters in a room on Tuesday morning at 8 a.m. called a rankings meeting. In other sports, they will actually go out there and prove it. We will know ever so often who's 1, who's 2, who's 3, who's 4, however low you want to go. There's a system, there's an architecture, it can be done. That's not what happened here. That's not what this sport is. What I'm submitting for you is that's what I saw in Lauren Murphy. She's not as good as the Bullet. Okay. Fair enough. She dealt with the Bullet's kickboxing just fine. She had trouble with one position. She had trouble with that position all night long, but she had trouble with one position, which is about 6 less problems than anyone else who's ever faced the Bullet can claim. And she walked into a fight knowing what an uphill battle it was, and she did it voluntarily. I'm sure Lauren would have had the courage. I'm sure plenty of you 125-pounders would have had the courage should have you gotten that phone call. I'm just reminding the viewer, she got that phone call after she stood in front of the world and said, hey guys, call me.